What is a good baseball player? Well, it's a player that wins games and has good stats. There have been a lot of players throughout history who have done that, and today I'm going to be doing the top 10 baseball players of all time. If you guys really like this one, like and subscribe. The challenge about doing this is that it's hard to compare players from the early 1900s to the players in the late 2000s because it was just a different game in both of those time periods. So I'm going to try to do my best to compare, and off we go. Starting off at number 10, we have Ken Griffey Jr. Griffey was one of the best players in the 1990s and 2000s. At the end of his career, he finished with a .284 batting average and 630 home runs. At the end of his career, he finished with a 83.8 wins above replacement or WAR, which is one of my favorite stats ever, and basically means if you were gone, how many wins would your team lose? The kid probably would have beaten the home run record if he had stayed healthy. But Ken Griffey Jr., truly a phenomenal player for the Mariners, the White Sox, the Reds. Every team he played on, he was awesome on. Moving on to number 9, we have our only pitcher in our list, Pedro Martinez. Martinez was one of the best, if not the best, pitcher of all time, in a time it was very hard to pitch to baseball players. In 2000, Pedro had a 1.82 ERA, the best season of his career by far. In his entire career, Pedro had a sub-3 ERA, in which today's numbers is usually always a top 5 number. And even though I'm a Yankees fan, Pedro is probably the best pitcher in AL East history. And now to number 8, we have another Red Sox player, Ted Williams. In his career, Ted batted .344, easily the highest in his era. In the 3 years of his career, Ted batted over .400, which is very good if you did not know. And even in the last year of his season, where you're supposed to be horrible then retire, he still batted .316. Ted was so good that he should have been the one in the Simon and Garfunkel song, not Joe DiMaggio. At number 7, we have Lou Gehrig, the Yankees' first baseman. In his career, Lou Gehrig had a .340 batting average and 493 home runs. And his career was cut short because of his ALS disease, now known as the Lou Gehrig disease. I don't have much else to say. Lou was just a great baseball player in general. Every aspect of the field, every aspect of the game, he was just great. At number 6, we have Barry Bonds. Using steroids, Barry Bonds was one of the best baseball players of all time. And even before he was using steroids, he was still an awesome player. He would be number 1 if he didn't use steroids, but since he did use steroids, I have to knock him down a little bit. I still think Barry Bonds was a terrific baseball player from the inside and the outside. I just wish he didn't use steroids. There's just something about that I just don't like. But still, Barry Bonds is at number 6 because of one reason: his home runs. Bonds had 762 home runs throughout his career, number 1 in baseball history. In 2002, he got up to a 1,381 OPS, which is awesome. Awesome. And that's why Barry Bonds is at number 6. At number 5, we have Ty Cobb. Cobb is the earliest baseball player on this list, but he has a reason. The Tigers Hall of Famer had 4,189 hits in his career, second of all time behind Pete Rose. In his best year, 1912, Cobb had a .419 batting average and 248 hits. But it's hard to compare someone who was born over 150 years ago to someone who played 20 years ago. This is why he's at number 5. But still, Ty Cobb was one of the best baseball players of all time, especially for contact and just playing the game the best. At 4, we have Mickey Mantle. Mickey Mantle was a superstar for the New York Yankees in the 1950s and 1960s. He had over 500 home runs, about 2,800 hits, and just finished below a career average 300 because he played one year that he probably shouldn't have. Mantle also got injured in the 1951, his rookie season, and if he didn't get injured, he would probably be at the top of this list. Mantle has also the most expensive baseball card of all time, his 1952 Topps rookie card, which sold for over $12 million. And that makes sense because Mickey Mantle was that good. And that's why Mickey Mantle's at number 4. At number 3, we have Hank Aaron. The true home run king had 755 home runs in his career, beaten by Barry Bonds in the early 2000s. Hank Aaron might have been one of the most influential baseball players of all time. He was probably the best baseball player of color of all time. He quietly had 3,755 hits, 143.1 WAR, and a career .305 batting average. And it's not like he just had only one good season. Each year, he was batting consistently over 300 and having more than 30 home runs. And that's why Hank Aaron is at number 4, one of the best baseball players of all time. At number 4, we have Willie Mays. Mays was one of the best five-tool baseball players of all time. He had a 156.2 WAR in his career, 660 home runs, and a .301 career batting average. He also had one of the most cool catches of all time, which is on the video right now, the catch. He won the MVP 2 times, and his career OPS was .940, which is one of the best in history. Willie Mays could just do anything you wanted him to do. And that's why Willie Mays is at number 2. And at number 1, we have, drumroll please, we have Babe Ruth. Was there really any question about this? Babe Ruth is the best baseball player of all time, and here's why. First of all, he had 714 home runs, which is already top 3 in history. He also had a .314 batting average for his entire career, 182.6 WAR, which is the best in history. He also kind of runs funny. But Babe Ruth's the best player in history for the best team in history, the New York Yankees. And that's why he's at number 1. Thanks for watching. If you want to see an NFL version of this, just put it down in the comments below. Thank you.